All right, that was a little psychedelic laser show there. Kind of like what's going on right outside my window. It's Beast of the East, and joining me is my main man from Kentucky. It's Vinny Hardy. What's up, Vinny?
What is up, Corey? What's happening, man?
Not much, man. I know people are probably asking the same question about my man Israel Troupe, but he is just like me coming in on two wheels. They had some weather delays. We had some weather delays. We're going a little bit later right now because of the heat, the extreme heat. And we got the other side of it, which was a nice little thunderstorm. So
Yeah.
we're a little bit delayed here. That's why we're going about half an hour, maybe even a little bit more later than we usually do. So just peep that, FYI. Next week, hopefully, we're back on the school schedule next week, so we should be a little bit less discombobulated. But it's pretty crazy nonetheless. But we got a lot for you. Like I said, it is Beast of the East here on the Bleav Network, coming at you on the video side from y'all's conference. If you follow me on Twitter, follow that link, and you will follow it right on to you'll follow it right onto the show. So we're excited to have you join in on the chat, subscribe, all that good stuff. We are presented by Betonline.ag. It's the fastest, easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first to market odds and lines. I couldn't read that for some reason. So find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BLEAV50. That's BLEAV50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline is where the game starts. Well, we got a lot to talk about, Vin. It was a rather eventful week at SEC Media Days. Lots of things being talked about. So if you were telling somebody about like what SEC Media Days is all about, what is the one thing you would say, hey, this sums up Media Days in one deal?
It's constantly growing. It's talking season. The coaches, players come in there. I don't know. I almost say it's like the Masters. It might be a tradition like any other. Outgrew description. Outgrew the Winfrey, so you move it over to the College Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
right there smacking the ATL. It's 4 days now because you got 14 teams instead of 12, and like it used to be, and 10. And I haven't been. I still want to get to one and see and take it all in. Radio Row everywhere, just fans, coaches.
That's our goal, Vinny. Next year we're going to be on Radio Row.
I want to hit that. I told you my co-host was there. Aaron Gershon was there.
That's what you said.
Talking to players, getting clips, having dudes, asking Florida players, and they're getting mad at him. The blue players, Manuel hates Kentucky. He got all kind of nice sound. But man, nice. I'm for you and jealous for you at the same time.
Absolutely. So that man, that would be fun. Be on Radio Row, talk to all the players, and just kind of see where they're at. And man, that would be outstanding. So to me, the one thing I think that stood out was just that all the coaches they seemed a lot looser this year than they've ever been. Did you feel that way?
Yeah, I think so. For everybody was.
They seemed looser to me, like they were cracking jokes. They don't usually it's like very business-like approach. They come up and they're like, this is our team. We're hard at work. We're looking forward to this season. We got a lot of great young men. We thank you for what you do. Yada yada. Any questions? And then they give you all these non-answers, and that there's a lot of good answers on NIL. I think this one guy wanted everybody to play Jackson State. That was interesting. I think you got a lot of questions on Nick Saban, as you do every year, and then the whole drama show between him and Jimbo. That was a non-issue, but we knew that was going to happen. But from a Kentucky perspective, with Mark Stoops, were you surprised at any of the questions they asked him? Did one say, "Oh, wow, okay, that one kind of snuck in there"?
Not really. Even with the local stuff, and then the stuff out in the main stage, even his Q&A with Feinbaum, live on the show. Nothing really. He still kind of stays close to the vest, but he's when he likes to let his hair down, and he does, and he's a fun cut up kind of dude when he does, but he was still kind of close to the vest, but he's more relaxed than he has been. I mean, he's the second most tenured coach in the league behind Saban now, and Mark Stoops going on 10 years, so he's guys know their squads and they know what they got, and some years they come in more confident than others, and he's got reason to come in feeling confident again this year.
I mean, y'all's front seven's always scary. I mean, there's nothing not ever scary about that. I think the offensive line is at a point to where they're just reloading it.
Just got to get those tackles some experience. That's the thing. Even Drinkwitz, his goofy self, said that outside of Georgia, it was Kentucky's defensive line was the most impressive. Save for you guys. Because Georgia's always on another level. But he was complimentary to Kentucky, even though it is a rivalry, and it drives them crazy that they've lost like 7 out of 8 to Kentucky.
No.
But it is what it is.
Well, Chris Doering said that Kentucky was going to upset Georgia.
He did.
So that's some big shoes to fill.
He's been bullish on Kentucky for years.
He has. He likes Kentucky.
A couple years before it really took off, when they were still kind of 7-5, and he was kind of singing their praise. Kubelik kind of shoots pretty straight, especially about the offensive line, and they just methodically kind of getting things in place. Everybody's trying to shoot their best shot when the Dogs come to town, and
that's right.
Y'all, nothing new.
I know, right? So we just gotta. I mean, it's going to be a tough place to the grocery bags always tough, especially that'll probably be a night game. If not, maybe even a CBS 3:30 game, which that would suit me just well. But
it might be a little bit of a weather game too. It's in November. I'm glad y'all coming in November, late in the season. You might get a little chill in the air that y'all might not be used to.
Okay.
Y'all coming in November now. You used to play Tennessee then, and it's cold and freezing. And
I hope it freaking snows, man. It won't, but I hope it does.
Yeah. It'd be cold though. You need to get Florida back up there in November like they used to. They don't come anywhere near Knoxville or Lexington like after October. They always get Kentucky and Tennessee, and I don't know if they play Missouri, but the northernmost teams, Florida always gets them when it's still warm. I'm like, how did they pull that? I mean, what did Jeremy Foley do? What kind of deal did he sign years ago? Because they hadn't been up in cold weather SEC country in years.
No, they haven't, and they avoid Georgia up in Athens because they play the game in Jacksonville every year, so it's always like 70 degrees. So that's always like the reprieve before fall weather in Georgia, like in Athens, because it's usually like cold, slightly cold when you leave and you pull up into Jacksonville,
and
the weather's usually pretty good. So I was like, okay.
Get the little warmth and loosen all the muscles up again. Don't have to worry about that.
Man, you're gonna loosen the muscles up with that bourbon anyway. So.
Oh yeah, of course. And I meant to have some here. It's downstairs. Anyway,
there you go.
I know everybody's looking forward, but I gotta ask you, just coming off the championship season, dominant, uber elite team. What's the offensive play? If you got to pick one play from last season, offensively and defensively, that just you always remember as a Georgia fan that what are you, which one are you picking from the season?
Offensively and defensively, I mean, you got to look at the last two scores from the national championship game. Keely Ringo pick six.
Okay.
And the Brock Bowers touchdown. Well, really, the offensive play is probably the deep shot to A.D. Mitchell in the end zone to get the rally started. Because we're down one at that point. Stetson just came off a catastrophic turnover. He goes 4 plays and puts one in the end zone.
Yeah.
That will further stamp our season. Defensively, it's the Keely Ringo pick six, but excluding that, the next best one would be the N'Kobe Dean hunting that dude down from the other side of the field in the Orange Bowl.
Okay.
And then from the regular season, probably I would say that screenplay that we talked about against Kentucky.
Yeah.
And from the regular season, offensive play that stuck with me was honestly probably Brock Bowers' first touchdown, where you're like, whoa. He goes like 70 to the house and he hits like 22 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It's probably that. You're just like, what in the hell just happened? Like, it's a tight end. How is he this fast?
I was just, all I did was rave about him, man.
Mm-hmm.
When he first started towards the end of last year, and the play he made against us where he didn't even see the ball coming in until late and just snags it on the touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
And his job is safe, right? Even though y'all's tight end room is insane, or is he still looking?
Well, there's enough volume to go 13 personnel and think nothing of it.
Yeah.
Like this team is built to go 13 personnel because we're a little light on the experience in the receiver room, even though I think we have a lot of talented guys. We've got a lot of beat up guys: Kierce Jackson, Dominic Blaylock, Rosemy Jackson are 3 guys that are, and Arian Smith are 4 guys that are beat up. So you got Lab McConkey and you have A.D. Mitchell, the only ones coming in that haven't had a major injury of some sort. And so I think when you look at those guys, you probably need in a few sets some reprieve. But I mean, there's enough volume for A.D. Mitchell to have a great season, for Lab McConkey. I mean, you saw it last year. I mean, we scored 28 points a game. I think that's only going to go up. Because you're not going to be as run heavy as you have been because you don't have Zeus and James Cook, so you're when I say balance, you're probably going to be a little bit closer to 60-40 run pass where and it was a little bit more lopsided in that favor, and we were just hitting big plays down the field. You're probably not going to see that as much. A lot of screens, a lot of RPO. That's what Todd Monken likes to do. What about for Kentucky? Like what do you think defined your season? Like you're sitting there thinking, okay, Kentucky is not just some flash in the pan team. You're like, okay, this is going to tell me that like we're here to stay.
I think it was, and I don't care how your season plays out after you play somebody. Playing Florida and LSU early in the season, back to back. True, they didn't go on to have a typical season, but at the time, that was still formidable matchups. That was the first time beating Florida at home since 1986, back when they played in November, back when it used to be cold.
Mm-hmm.
They used to stick Florida on the side in the shadows, in the shade, in the cold. They would put them over there, and they'd be freezing and having their jackets on. You hadn't beat them in Lexington in 3 decades. Florida and LSU back-to-back. You start off 6-0, and LSU didn't go on to do what they did. We saw how things ended with them, but at the time, a lot of people were thinking, maybe if you get one of those, if you split, that cold kind of talk, what's the best case scenario? They swept all that, and so that lets you know that we're gonna have another good season. Went 3-3 down the stretch to finish 9-3, but still. Win 9, get 10 for the bowl game for the second time in 4 years. They haven't won more than 8 games like a handful of times in my lifetime. So,
right,
seeing them do that again, handling those big time matchups at home, jacked up crowd, night game, and You didn't lay an egg. You didn't slip. You had no business. That kind of told me early in the season. Even when they did stub their toe at Mississippi State, they played like crap. Could have beat Tennessee, but we've been saying that my whole life.
Yeah. I mean, that happens, right?
That pick six to Taylor, I mean, just it was a killer. But they still, you knew, hey, they're still gonna be solid, and that was. And defensively, Jacquez Jones made the play to the pass breakup against Florida to serve. When he hit the block punt, the crowd forcing 8 false starts, which that's what Aaron asked their center about at media days, and he was like, "Kudos to Kentucky, man." You can tell he was giving props through gritted teeth. He was like, "You have to give Kentucky props. Got to give them props," but it was still a sore subject, man.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And he asked him, he said, "I don't mean to bring up bad memory, but I had 8 false starts in Lake." So he started off just poking.
Oh man, that's wow, that's funny.
Mm-hmm.
That is funny.
We got to hit that, man.
Yes.
You and Barrett, Salee, and Marty and McGee, and you be right there asking questions.
Yeah, we got get a table next to them and get all those guys through. And hey, Coach Stoops, how you doing?
Yeah.
Welcome to the show. We glad to have you.
Hanging out with your boy Ben Watson.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's my guy right there. I got a story about Ben Watson. So no, it's funny. It's not an uh-oh story. It's a pretty funny story actually. I had a class with him. It was golf.
Okay.
All right. It was a 1 credit hour class. It was golf. So we get out there, we get on the range, just like the third day. We finally get out on the range. And of course, Ben Watson at the stature that he's at is let's just say he's a monster, right? And I worked for the team at that point. I was a student assistant in the recruiting office, so like he knew who I was, and like I'd worked out in the weight room some, and he'd come down there, so like he knew who I was. I mean, we weren't like best friends or anything, but he knew who I was. And so we're talking, and trading stories about LSU and some of the away games that they had just played, and then we go to the range to hit balls, and so I'm gonna bring on Israel.
Oh, IT,
my man, he's here.
Yes,
he is here. The man, the myth, the legend, Israel Troupe. Israel, I'm in the middle of telling a story about Ben Watson pulling a 10 cup on the driving range in golf class.
Really?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So we're talking, and then we get to hitting balls because it's like time to start class, and then so next thing you know, I'm like probably 5 people down from him, 5 like tee boxes down from him at the driving range. All of a sudden, this ball just comes. I mean, like scorching across, and like in the scene in 10 cup, he like tops it. And it goes like across the range.
Yeah.
Like I had to get out of the way. I'm like, geez. He looks over. He's like, sorry guys. And he's like dying laughing.
Hilarious.
I'm like, it's all right, big fella.
Life flash before your eyes.
Yeah. You're not a golfer, and that's okay. I can deal with that. Is this a new setup for you? Did you go outside?
No. I'm in the playroom, right? My kids jump on it. Set it up real quick.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Look at you, man. Look at you being resourceful. So, how was practice?
And got rained on a little bit. Had a little light. That's what took me so long.
Yeah. Y'all, because you
4:30.
Dang. You're in like in service, right?
We got in service for a long day of meetings.
Yeah.
Nothing.
In service and a rain delay makes for a long day, right? Well, yeah, we're just talking about we were talking about a little bit of SEC media days, and if we could ever get it work it out in our schedule for us to set up on Radio Row, that would be insane.
Oh man, that'd be cool. In the coach's office, in Pittman and Beamer. I like his insight about it. He said he was there when that whole, you know, when he Wilson.
Yeah.
How Caleb starting job. You know, I respect that perspective. You know, because he was actually there when it was really insightful. You know, the known of the unknown is what I was going to do.
Yeah, that is really, really good insight. Like, I wish we had players that were good enough for those guys to come into our office, because I would love to get some insight, especially from Pit Boss, my man Sam Pittman.
Yeah,
that would be.
He was good.
You know, I was skeptical of the experience, but I think Shane Beamer's going to be good for South Carolina. When he finally kind of starts to get a couple classes in, they're really going to struggle on the offensive line. But when they start to get some classes in, they're going to be. I mean, they play hard for him, man.
Yeah. Absolutely, I think that they're them in Kentucky, you know. But I think the next Kentucky then South Carolina, you know, we all know what's going to happen on any given Saturday.
Yep.
You know, so I've heard a lot of good things about Kentucky. You need to hear good things about South Carolina. They're always going to be good. It's going to be interesting to see how.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see what is cranked up. But you know, I thought we could talk about this on Thursday. But I thought Kirby hit a home run at media days. I thought he was really, really good. I thought he stood in and answered some questions. He got a bunch of criticism about his stuff on NIL, but you never know like how that stuff is digested. But you know, I thought the other parts he did really well.
I think the NIL deal, you know, that's. I mean, it's on deal. You know, you try to make it all about NIL, but you can't avoid how to contain it.
Yeah.
You know, so I think they, you know, to every, you know, put little inserts out. They all know how it is, so it's not going anywhere. It's only going to get. You might as well embrace it, you know, and try to hopefully not let it be that much more getting recruits and stuff in.
Yeah, no doubt. I just, I like the idea of putting some guardrails on it. I like the idea of, regulating a little bit, but, then again, get the players paid, and I think you're in great shape. So, I like Saban's answer on that. I liked, most of the people's answers I liked on that. I don't have any problem with that. You need to do whatever you can to get these kids paid what they deserve, but then again, not take advantage of them and not give them money you can't promise. And, whatever the case is, I think, it's a slippery slope and you got to be careful with it. And honestly, it's a tough subject to tackle.
Yeah. Yeah. But then, regulate it, get it, uniform. Is it the Wild Wild West? Yeah, but was the Wild Wild West before NIL? Yeah. Now it's just more out in the open.
Now the next step is to just kind of not like put total clamps on it and put too many guardrails in. I think if you put just a little bit, it'll be perfect. It'll be a great system. But I think it's just gone from the hidden Wild West, the undiscovered Wild West, to now we just see it, but nothing has changed.
Wow,
like
wow.
People are acting like it's still covered up, but they're not really covering it up. So you're starting to see legalized things that like SMU was doing and stuff like that, where they're just blatant like pay for play type recruit stuff. So
Tennessee just got hit, but now with all the violations and everything that Pruitt was doing,
does it even matter now?
Right, exactly. With all the deals players are getting, it doesn't seem as, oh my God, look what Tennessee did now. And it was just a couple years ago that they did this. I mean, if I'm at Florida, I'm like, man, Dan Mullen's wife kissed me in the mouth, but Pruitt's wife up here giving me 60 G's I'm like, man, maybe I should have went to Tennessee. She been paying rent and car payments and stuff.
I know,
but
the McDonald's bags and stuff. They finally got it. They finally got it all, I guess, figured. I don't know. It's crazy, but
they kept doing the same thing over and over again. But they got 18 different counts of the same stuff.
Yeah.
But now that they got a high school that just gave $8 million to. It don't even really seem that crazy.
Just like I said, it like this kid hasn't taken a snap of college football yet, and you're going to pay him $8 million. That seems a bit much, but I don't know. They're spending the money, so I guess if you spend it, the risk is all on you. So whatever.
Now, in the locker room, Israel, a lot of people were concerned. Well, you might have, the quarterback's going to be making more than the long snapper. Well, that's going to happen in any other job you go to. Did you see that being a problem in the locker room if the NIL deals weren't all equal? Because I didn't really think it,
I don't think they care. I think it's from the simple fact that I'm going to get paid no matter what. You know what I mean? It's simple fact of obviously the most popular players are going to get the most money. I mean, it is what it is at that point. But I don't think it's a competition between the players. I think the media makes it more of a spectacle than what it is. I don't think players really care, because like you said, this long snapper is going to get stuff that the more known players might not get, So I think it's more so the fact that just keep it out of your locker room, all the noise and stuff. So basically just keep that part out the locker room. I think
as much as you can, but you're going to get headlines like the freaking freshman quarterback coming in. If you're a Tennessee player, let's say you're Hendon Hooker, and this freshman's coming in, he's getting paid $8 million. Like, how do you feel if you're Hendon Hooker? Like, you're not getting that much. Are you going to ask for that much? I mean, what do you do if you're Hendon Hooker?
I think you got to figure it out on your own at that point, big dog.
I guess so.
You got to think the NIL stuff didn't start until what, last year or 2 years ago. So, I mean, you were already in school. So, they weren't really, it really wasn't popping then. But now, these guys,
3 years later,
they're getting a little bit more, but now you just go out and, play hard and, make other people bet on you. That's basically what people are doing with NIL. They're betting that guy's going to do really well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's to the point now, well, you just spent $8 million on this kid. What if he's a bust?
You just lost $8 million.
Can't get it back.
No, you can't get it back. I mean, once you give it to the kid, you can't. You can't ask for it back. There's going to be some bad stuff that happens in that regard because you're betting on high schoolers. That's never a good idea.
That's the boosters and the collectives and all that. The school still really didn't, but you gotta hit them boosters up again for another prospect. You gotta find some different boosters to pony up or what. That's kind of what.
Now I worry. Does this give power to boosters now? Does this give more power than they've ever had?
They've always had a lot.
They always had a lot. I think it's just more so known now. Exactly where the money's coming from. I think that you just match the money with a face now. That's the only difference now. That's the only.
That's probably true.
Yeah,
they still been paying. You just match the money with the face.
Cool.
But now that it's out in the open, though, our boosters going to be more brazen. Are we going to see a lot more Auburn Brian Harsin situations?
I think they'll have a little bit more to say, as far as
because it's not illegal, so they can't hide behind anything, or they
yeah.
don't have to.
I think it still comes from the school. Brian Harsin did. He came with a lot of baggage as far as the kids didn't like him. It wasn't that the boosters or anything, went against him until the kids started coming out saying this stuff about him. So I think if that didn't happen, then I think everything would have been fine.
Okay, well, fair enough.
You know,
This is why we have you on the show, because you can give us insight on boosters that as a recruiting assistant, I had no clue who the boosters were or what impact they had. I knew it happened. I knew some people were probably getting paid because I watched Blue Chips, but I it didn't reach all the way down to me. But Shockley and Green and Ben Watson and Kedrick Golston and Boss Bailey, all those guys were walking through. Didn't think much of it, man. But I guess that dates me as as how old I am.
You're old, bro. Like you got to get with it.
I'm an old man.
You are old, but I think the boosters are doing I don't think they have too much of a hand in it. As far as meeting with kids and doing stuff like that, I think is more so done on the table type deal. Be like, hey, so and so's gonna do this if you do that. You know what I mean? I don't think it's to the point to where boosters actively like talking to kids. Because that is an NCAA violation.
Yeah.
But I think if they do it through a corporation, which is what a lot of boosters are doing, that is legal. So I think that's kind of how they're getting away with it. They're doing it through a corporation and, having a little hand in it. But people,
it's not Bill Johnson, it's Regions Bank.
Yeah. Like people are actually, the boosters aren't doing it. So it's just more so known now. And, they can have a little bit more contact through corporations than they have one-on-one contact. Like if you were a booster and you're trying to get me to come to Georgia, then that'd be an NCAA violation. You're basically an agent for me. You can't be an agent to an amateur.
Right. So it's got to be a company offering sponsorship. So what you're trying to tell me, Israel, is that we're gonna buy a Raising Cane's franchise, because I saw a commercial for Raising Cane's earlier, and I really want some of those chicken tenders. And we're gonna get a few recruits.
Now, Raising Cane's is legit. I think we can get it going. And I think about that. Like when my son comes up and say he decides he wants to play football. Me being a coach and me knowing how it all works. I'd be like, nah, cuz like that just don't sound. I never want to feel like we have to owe anybody anything, basically.
Right.
And that's kind of how I feel with all these NIL deals. Like you owe somebody something because they're paying for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't mean that in like a weird way or anything like that, but they're betting their paycheck on you like every single game that you're not going to bust. You're their investment, so you just got to be smart. I still think that you go to the school where your heart is, because you can get there, they're paying you $8 million, you can get there and you hate it. You know what I mean? You can not realize that you don't want to be at Michigan in September because it's snowing, but Joe Blow over here just paid you $3 million in an NIL deal to come, and you decide, nah, I don't like it here, I'm gonna leave.
And now Jim Harbaugh has built a tree fort outside your house, and now you can't go anywhere.
Absolutely.
So yeah, you're stuck. So man, it's an interesting deal. Like how that's all happening. I mean, a lot of worries. This stuff is going to get out of control. But like, part of me is like, well, we should put some guardrails on it. And then the other half of me is like, whoa, take it down a notch. It's going to regulate itself. It'll be just fine, because this isn't like the Live Tour where there's an endless supply of money.
Right. Oh, yeah.
This is college sports, and the money's definitely got a definite end, and it all kind of stabilize itself, right?
Absolutely.
Unless you got like T. Boone Pickens at Oklahoma State, where that dude just had money to burn.
Well, his family, because I think he passed away now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But back when he was alive, I mean,
he built Oklahoma State University.
It's like Stillwater is all his money, but Yeah, and some of those Texas boosters, it's got
Oil money.
pockets for days. But
Like how is Jerry Jones not a well, he might be, but how's he not a booster for Arkansas right now? How are we not hearing about the Dallas Cowboys offering Arkansas players like KJ Jefferson an NIL deal for the Dallas Cowboys?
It's pretty much because you got to think, like I said earlier, you're betting on a kid. You said it too. You're betting on a high school kid.
Yeah.
Who wants to put their money on a kid? If there's a kid that's already in college, if Nolan Dean,
well, KJ Jefferson's already there. I mean, you're betting on a veteran guy at that point.
Yeah, so I mean, it's pretty much just who are you going to put your money on? Who's going to get me more bang for my buck?
Yeah. Now you remember was it De'Aaron King from at Miami that got the Florida Panthers? That deal with the Florida Panthers, the NHL team. Yeah, he had some sort of NIL deal package with the Florida Panthers. Like he was going to help sell them tickets, or he's going to be like with their marketing.
That's ringing a bell for some reason.
Let me look that up. But yeah, like if I'm Mark Cuban, like I'm going to Texas and getting Quinn Ewers to represent the Mavericks. Like I'm doing something like that, or if I'm or I'm going to SMU and grabbing a player, and like that'd be not that Mark Cuban needs that, but like it's good publicity.
Yeah, I think with the NIL deals being so new to everybody, and it's not frowned upon anymore, to pay student athletes. I think that's why everybody's so up in arms about it. But at the end of the day, it'll fizzle out, and they'll have something else to complain about here in about another year or two. I mean, it's pretty much expected now. Yeah. So especially with college players getting little deals here and there too. So I mean, it's not really uncommon anymore,
right,
for it to happen. So after a while, everything will fizzle out, and they'll be like, oh well, they got him. But at the end of the day, you still got them in football games. They're not just gonna come to your school just because you pay them. Like they do want to compete for championships, and it just so happens that people winning championships are the really good teams.
Yeah. So here for it was De'Aaron King was the first one for the Florida Panthers. They offered NIL contract to every eligible female athlete at Florida Atlantic University. So that was cool. And then, of course, De'Aaron King, who's now a co-founder of Dreamfield Sports. He's no longer in school, but he got a deal like that as well. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, first college player to ever sign on a professional team, and said he worked with the digital and social media, merchandise, had his own menu item and concessions.
Yeah, I mean, the coolest menu item at a concession stand of all time was the Roethlisberger. It was like a burger with everything on it.
Yeah.
It was a special burger in Pittsburgh at Heinz Field.
A lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
It have everything on it.
and not to go all ADD on you guys, but at the Nationals Park they have a hamburger, but instead of regular hamburger buns, the buns are 2 Krispy Kreme glazed donuts.
Oh, that sounds like something I can be a part of.
A bacon cheeseburger with Krispy Kreme donuts. Diabetes in a bag.
Hate to give the Nationals credit for anything, but that sounds great.
Yeah,
sounds delicious.
Sounds delicious and worth every moment of the ensuing heart attack.
Wheat donut and fried chicken. You said chicken?
No, it's hamburger.
Oh, burger. Oh,
yeah, it's burger with bacon.
Okay.
Bacon cheeseburger. With all the fixings and donuts.
Sign me up. Sign me up.
I will try that thing. But you guys gotta know CPR if I'm gonna be with you. You're trained, right, Israel?
Yes, I am CPR certified.
Attaboy. I knew you brought something to the table.
Yeah,
so yeah, I thought that stood out. I'd laugh that Brian Kelly kind of leaned into his family thing, and then
you can't fake it. The funniest thing that I saw was the word count for the opening statements.
Mike Leach was
And
7.
Mike Leach was 7.
He's like, hey guys, okay, any questions? And the guy, and a reporter asked him about it too. He's like, why no opening statements? He goes, man, I hate opening statements.
Yeah, fair enough.
Basically, I'm just here to answer y'all stupid questions so I can go back to Mississippi.
That's what that translated to.
And Vanderbilt got a vote to win the league too. So somebody
was drunk.
Somebody picked Vanderbilt to win the.
Well, you got to love Clark Lee's confidence on that. You got to love it.
Yeah. In time, we're going to be the best program in the country. That's what he said.
Yeah, he said we're going to be the best program in the country. I'm like, okay. All right. Love the confidence. I don't know if you're going to be the head coach in 5 years, but all right, here we go.
What do you say, though? You're Clark Lee.
You kind of have to say that, right?
Yeah, the only 2 sports over there winning anything is basketball, and Pippen Jr. just left, so I don't know how good they're going to be in baseball.
Basketball's been the only team that's been worse than Georgia is Vanderbilt.
Pippen just left,
year,
so
but
they're going to struggle.
They will struggle. Pippen left, and I think Garland left too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Slim Pickens up there.
Slim Pickens.
That house might have to suit up.
I know. They might have to steal a few transfers. Well, nobody's transferring from Georgia now because we just got a legitimate coach.
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky, watch out.
Yes, right. Yeah.
We're getting Severe Wheeler back. You know that, right?
I just want to know if when we play y'all, is Mike White going to try to break his neck like Tom Crean did when he was out? He didn't even play y'all last year. He was out with a neck injury, and Tom Crean went and hugged him and grabbed him by the neck. Like, dude, his neck is hurt. What are you doing?
A little gamesmanship for the next 3 games.
Yeah, it's
good job.
Yeah, over there yanking on his neck.
So glad to see you.
Like when you get a concussion and your bell rung and everybody slapping you in the head on your way to the sideline.
You're like, dude.
That's why you take your helmet off before you get there. You're like,
yo,
Troupe ain't dumb. He's like, man, I'm tired of getting the hell beat out of me. I'm on top of my head.
Look, I know all about concussions a little bit more than most.
Oh boy. So I like that. Obviously, Mike Leach going on his little diatribes and stuff that he likes to go on, all the Netflix recommendations.
Mike Leach, though, I didn't mean to cut you off. He was the assistant at Kentucky when Hal Mumme was there and Tim Couch, and everybody knows you ask him whatever, he'll talk. You can talk about the most random stuff with him, and he's not going to stay coach speak or get mad. He'll just engage in whatever.
Mm-hmm. He don't care.
Candy, if it's steak well done or medium rare, it don't matter. He'll talk whatever you're talking.
Well, what's the thing he went on about
candy,
about Halloween candy? That was
Halloween
hilarious.
Candy.
Yeah.
He gave at Texas Tech. He gave dating advice to some. I forget exactly what it is. You have to go look up.
Yeah, he's that coach that doesn't want to talk football all the time. So he'll, as soon as you say something, he's like, "Oh yeah, let's keep this going."
Yeah, he's looking for something different, a diversion. But in Lexington, where he had his house as an assistant, he was younger. He's in his in his 30s back when he was at UK in the late 90s. Everybody in the neighborhood would just see him rollerblading, shirtless, with his Walkman on through the neighborhood. And this is no surprise when we talk about Mike Leach.
Yes.
Dude is different, and he does his own thing, and he don't care. No. He was always rollerblading through the neighborhood.
Anybody who would go from Pepperdine Law School to Iowa Western for $1,000 a year, it's freaking
He's
nuts.
Different. He's a different cat.
Yeah,
he's a different breed.
Yeah, man.
He's a different guy.
And what I like is when somebody asks him "Hey, how'd you come up with the name Air Raid?" And you're expecting some elaborate answer of we call it Air Raid because of X, Y, Z, and he's really like, well, just because we threw the ball a lot and some idiot was in the crowd with a with an air raid siren, so just called it the air raid.
Just kind of stuck.
Yeah, and everybody's like, "Oh." I think that's hilarious. Have you guys read his book, Swing Your Sword? Not to go all, not to be the chief marketing officer for his book, but have you guys read it?
No, I didn't even know he had a book.
He has a book. It's called Swing Your Sword.
Pirate book.
Would love to know exactly what's in that book.
It's good. It's a good book. It's a good read. He talks about his when he was at Tech, his discipline strategy. Somebody get in trouble. I think he did this at Washington State too. But somebody getting in trouble, instead of like running the stadiums, you would do the 5 a.m. campus run, and you would stop and like you'd have exercises at different buildings, and he would ask you trivia questions about like you go to like the law school building, and he'd ask you like law questions and government questions, and like you'd go somewhere else and he'd ask you like art history questions, and like if you got it, so you had to like get him right.
Is he running or just showing up when you get to whatever building?
I want to say I think he was on a golf cart. I can't remember. It's been a while.
Yeah, okay, there we go. There it is.
Like a scavenger hunt for punishment.
Yeah. And it's like grueling.
Yeah.
So, I forget what he called it too. It was
Sounds like such a Mike Leach like punishment too. No, we're not just going to run stadiums. We're going to ask you trivia questions as we go.
Mm-hmm. Make sure you're thinking.
Yeah.
But that's pretty funny. But I was telling Vinny that there's this one guy that was sitting out in the crowd that I think he wants Coach Prime to play every school in the SEC. He asked every coach, "You guys going to play Jackson State anytime soon?"
He sure did.
Yeah.
Remember that guy?
Even Coach Prime was like, "No, we ain't ready for all that fire just yet."
We ain't ready for Alabama just yet. I ain't there where I'm going to sacrifice our kids for a little money.
Yeah. Smart man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very smart. But I thought it was. Yeah. So what else stood out to you? Israel, I know you were kind of getting caught up when we talked last week. You were kind of getting caught up on all the speeches.
Yeah, I just like, media, just kind of hearing everything, just hearing the perspective from each coach, how they feel about their particular team. There's a lot of excitement in the SEC. Obviously, I think it's starting to become pretty balanced across the board, especially in the West. I think the East is starting to catch up a little bit. I think in the East is pretty much, not the East, but I think in the West is pretty much, who's not going to lose, what game are you not going to lose? In the East, I think with Tennessee getting better, Kentucky's getting better, South Carolina's getting better. I think Florida, they'll get better. I think next year kind of tell you kind of where they are. So it's just to the point now of, can we keep the balance, especially with Oklahoma and Texas coming in next year? Can we keep the balance, and can we keep, national championship in the SEC pretty much?
Yeah.
Is the East a stronger division now?
It will be. It's not yet, but it will be maybe next year because, Florida's going to have a full recruiting cycle, and, Napier has shown that he can actually recruit. So, so we know that much. Tennessee is, little by little, increasing their depth some. And then Kentucky is that they've been a mainstay for the last 2 or 3 seasons, and then you have South Carolina, who will be very, very pesky this year. Similarly next year, and then in 2 years, I think South Carolina is going to be really good too. And then whoever the new coach is at Missouri might have a chance. Then, of course, the SEC East champion, Vanderbilt Commodores.
Yes.
It's going to be the division of death.
The class of the East.
Georgia might finish last in about 4 years when Vanderbilt's number 1.
Yeah.
It's not out of the realm possibility.
I don't think people are lining up to go to Vandy.
No, they're not. Can you picture a day of a Mississippi State Vandy SEC championship?
No. I can't. I can picture Mississippi State being in the SEC championship game, but not against Vandy.
They made it once, right? Did they play
Yeah, they played
Tennessee or
Tennessee one year, maybe.
think
It was a year they had Wayne Madkin, I think, as their quarterback.
Yeah, I think they at least got the one, so it's more than Kentucky can say, and they just made it. But, yeah. Ole Miss hasn't got there either, I don't think, since they split the divisions up.
Yeah, it's
I don't
been,
think
it's been a
No,
while.
Ole Miss hadn't been since 1960 something.
Yeah.
So they, I mean, they're dark horses. If Alabama wasn't as strong as they were, they would probably go.
Yeah. One thing that did disappoint me though is the fact that Will Anderson will be back this year. I could have sworn he was drafted last year, but when I saw him walk up on that podium, I almost started crying. I was like, "No, he's back!"
I'm like, no.
like, God, I thought you were gone.
And
Yeah,
seemed
him and Dallas Turner again. That's just not fair.
yeah. Seemed like he was quiet. As good as he was still kind of quiet to me last year. But everybody was talking about y'all every week, so y'all overshadowed Anderson, and that was hard to do.
You know, one thing that was good about last season, that it showed you that everybody could be beat at any point. You know, and it's even more true now because you got so many teams getting top-notch talent coming in. You know, whether it's the NIL deal that we talked about earlier, or the simple fact that each team is showing progress. So I think that's attributed to the SEC itself, and a tribute to, you know, so many great coaches, you know, who expected Shane Beamer to come into South Carolina and do what he did his first year. Heupel to come in at Tennessee and turn that dumpster fire around. You know, even with, you know, as much as we laugh at Vandy, you know, Vandy shows some signs this year that they can, you know, at least be somewhat competitive. You know, Napier coming in at Florida, Sam Pittman turning over Arkansas. So, I mean, it's just showing you that SEC has good quality coaches and they're getting good quality talent. And we're taking away from the Texases and the Oklahomas of the world, you know, simply from the fact that SEC and all the teams now are starting to do better. You know, Mississippi State and Ole Miss starting to pull kids from Texas, you know, which has never happened, you know, in the history of football. You know, Florida kids are starting to, you know, expand outside of the Florida States, the Floridas. You know, so that just goes to show how good this conference is, and how much better it's going to be after a while.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I'm excited about it. I mean, you know, you want to play in the best league, and for somebody to tell you otherwise would be stupid. I don't care if there's a greater chance of you losing. That's kind of the point of playing in a good league. You want that respect.
You talking about Mississippi finally getting it together? I guess both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like Brett Favre, Jerry Rice, Walter Payton, Jason Campbell. None of those dudes went to any of the Mississippi schools. I think Ole Miss and Mississippi State didn't get any of those dudes.
No, they didn't. And you know,
Mark Free, throw him in there too.
And nobody wanted Jerry Rice. He had to go to Mississippi Valley State. He had to go be a Delta Devil. Who are the others you named? Marcus Dupree went out of state, but I mean, he went to a powerhouse.
Jason Campbell, Marcus
Jason
Dupree,
Campbell went to Auburn.
Brett Favre,
Brett Favre.
Walter Payton.
I don't know that Brett Favre. I don't know that he was. I mean, he was a wing T, or he was an option quarterback. Like I don't know that he was like a quarterback like that until he got to Southern Miss and they figured it out. Like, hey, this guy's actually pretty good at football.
Yeah, he can throw a little bit.
Brett Favre.
What Southern Miss could figure it out, but Ole Miss and Mississippi State couldn't though, or couldn't foresee it or project it. You know,
I don't.
Two biggest schools in that state have just let some crazy legends just walk right on by them for years. So, like you said, they're getting kids out of Texas now. That's a long way from letting Hall of Famers just walk.
Mm-hmm.
No, Jason Campbell, no, go ahead and go be undefeated at Auburn. We don't want you. You Gatorade Player of the Year? No, we don't want you.
No, we're good. We're good. Yeah, I know Steve's finally excited. They doubled their 4-star count with from 17 to 34. in the transfer portal. So I know Mr. Stephen Willis at the Stephen Willis is very excited about that. Jackson Dart, Luke Altmaier, who's going to win the QB battle there? I don't know. Altmaier, they say Altmaier's got the leg up because he knows the offense, but
yeah,
I think it'll ultimately be Jackson Dart. I mean, talent's going to win out, right?
Yeah, talent's always
he'll eventually figure it out because he has to, right?
He's got to. They got to win football games.
It's still.
Yeah. But if Altmaier's the guy, then he earned it, and he is the guy. Which, I mean, he didn't play bad in the Sugar Bowl.
We're talking about filling Corral's shoes. Are they going to take a step back? Is it going to take them 5 or 6 weeks?
They got enough pieces around. I don't think it's going to be as big a deal as you think.
I think Lane gets back to what he's used to and RPO and things like that. So I think the backs are going to be a little bit more involved than they were last year instead of just running back around 13.
He's got a tight end now too. Finally, like his first year there, he had Kenny Yeboah, who got drafted by the Jets. Yeah. They had a really good, statistically great offensive season, and he didn't have that piece, so he had to run Matt Corral to death. Now he has that piece in Michael Trigg. Like, I think you're going to see more, like you said, more RPO with the tight end. Like he loves he loves that little hide route with the tight end. He loves the little arrow, the little arrow one that people do, that everybody does. I don't know what you call it, Israel, but we call it arrow.
Yeah, we leak it. We leak him out, run zone, leak him out the back door.
Yeah. Yeah, for right now, since our quarterback can't really read it, we just call it, and when we call it, he throws it.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we're at right now. But eventually, we'll be able to read that thing and not have to call it two ways. Just be able to call it one way and have him read it.
Yep.
But I think the freshman quarterback we have at my school will be able to do that. He'll be good.
We'll take the lumps now.
Mm-hmm.
He's a sophomore. He'll get better. He's a junior. He'll get better.
Yeah, that's right. So, well, I foresee him getting in a game or two. So we'll see what it looks like. Full contact on Friday. We have a scrimmage on Friday. Actually.
Oh yeah, that's right. Go get it.
We are. That's what we're going to do. That's what we do. NFL training camp started today for a lot of teams. Aren't you two Cowboy fans?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't talk about it. It's still a little sensitive right now.
I'm a Falcons fan, so I can't really say anything.
I don't talk about it. But prayers go out to Mechie. His diagnosis and everything came back. That's a tough deal, but glad they caught it in time for that young man. Yeah. To hope he makes a full recovery. You never wish that on anybody. So
no, not at all. Not at all. I think it's just a tough deal. You tear your ACL, then you learn you have this cancer, and it's just terrible.
Yeah. Good thing about modern medicine today, they can kind of catch it right now and get him through, and he can come back and still have a full career. So
yeah, and that's good. I mean, that used to just be one of those diagnoses where you're like, well, that's a wrap for him. Thankfully, modern medicine has helped. But
absolutely.
But speaking of the Titans, or not the Titans, but the Texans, are they going to trade for Jimmy G?
I would.
49ers gave him permission to explore and all that.
Yeah. But do you see what you have in Davis Mills? I mean, he's a second-year guy, and he had a pretty good finish to the season. And you're probably strapped for cash, right?
I think they're making way for that the other kid. What's his name?
Stroud.
No.
Stroud?
Who did they draft from North Dakota? Was it North Dakota?
Oh, you're talking about 49ers. You're talking about Trey Lance?
Yeah, I think they're making room for him. I think the Texans right now don't have a bona fide guy, so they got to figure it out fast. if they're going to do it.
I think Jimmy G is going to end up. I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up in Seattle or Cleveland. I think if I'm the 49ers, I ship him up to Seattle and get a heavier piece.
That's how little you think of him. Just trade him in the division. Going up to Seattle, we ain't even worried about you.
The dude is banged. I mean, I love Jimmy G, and he has great locker room charisma, but the dude is banged up all the time.
No, he's going to lose a game for you. You're going to be up by 14 points in the fourth quarter. He's going to find a way to make that game tied so you can look like a hero. Then you end up losing.
Yeah.
Like they did this year.
Yeah, they were. And the Super Bowl against Kansas City, they were up 10 and lost by 10.
Yep.
Yeah, that was impressive. And then this year in the NFC Championship, they were in a similar situation with the Rams, and they let the Rams back into it. And be damned if they didn't.
So that leads me to, Shanahan. Gotta give him props, I guess, for getting the results they've had with Jimmy G as quarterback. But then part of me thinks we know who his dad is. Is he if he's not Shanahan, is he kind of Teflon in this? Because he was the offensive coordinator for 28-3. I'm sorry, Corey. I don't mean to bring that. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. He was the coordinator for that. Is he kind of Teflon? Because Jimmy G catches all the crap and Shanahan just kind of.
I think he is. I think there's something to that.
No, that's Jimmy G, big dog. He's supposed to hand the ball off and he throws it right to a guy. He fumbles the ball. And I'm like, Jimmy, come on, big dog.
But this is why Israel and I are salty. This dude came into our stadium and beat us in the playoffs. We lost to that dude.
He couldn't even throw.
I said before the game, I was like, man, just get him in third and long. We'll have him where we want him.
Like with
Burton third and longs on us all day long.
Yeah, I was watching that game. I was like, God, Jimmy G's carving you guys up, man. Like I just don't see a team trading and giving up what they have to give up to get a guy who's not throwing yet because he's injured again. Like I don't see a team where even if you got a rookie that's had a good start to it, like I don't even know if I'm Seattle and I might roll with Drew Lock before I don't know. Maybe I'm a little crazy on that one, but
New Orleans.
Yeah, like if I'm the Saints, I mean I think it's perfect, but like because you got Jameis there. No, I think Justin Fields is the dude there.
Pittsburgh. Well, you got Pickett, but
I mean Pittsburgh. You need a situation. If I'm Carolina, do you just go for it all? That'd be hilarious.
What's the average on your roster? Baker and Jimmy.
Yeah,
a ton of average.
Bunch of mediocre.
God,
you got Baker, Jimmy, and Sam Darnold on the same team.
Oh my God! Here you go, Matt.
I mean, here's what I foresee happening. You hear all this trade talk, but like I don't think anybody's gonna. They're gonna have to cut him. Like they're not going to be able to get what they want in the trade market for Jimmy G because they want too much and he's not healthy. Like if I'm the Texans, no, because I got Davis Mills, and is he great? No, but like he's low risk right now. You're not paying him hardly anything. You have no risk, and you're probably going to be bad anyway. So just lean into it. If I'm Seattle, do I pay the upcharge for being in the division?
No.
I don't know. I look in that quarterback room. Maybe I think about it. If I'm the Washington Commanders, do I look at it? If I'm New York, if I'm the Giants, do I look at it? If I'm the Giants, I look at it for sure.
G and Carson Wentz in Washington. That's
hilarious. But seriously, if I'm the Giants, I look at this thing like
they're gonna be needing somebody next year. They're gonna be high in the draft.
It ain't Daniel Jones. I can tell you that much. Like he's not the answer. He's not. He's just not.
Y'all said Seattle. Israel, you play wide receiver. If I'm DK Metcalf, I'm pissed. If I'm a contract year and Russell's gone, Drew Lock's up there, Jimmy G maybe getting shopped to y'all. I'm highly upset if I'm DK Metcalf because
I'm trying to get out.
He been trying to get a trade out of there for a while anyway. I don't think it matters with the quarterback. I think he just wants out of Seattle.
Putting up numbers this year just got a whole lot harder with you in a contract year.
Shit, you walk in, yeah. I don't think he has to worry about that unless he just completely implodes. Whew.
He's
A rough situation though. You're looking at Drew Lock and you're sitting there going, "Okay, let's do this." Like I know you have to say the right things, but it just gets more and more difficult, right?
Yep.
It just gets difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. He just brought up the playoff game against us, and I'm like, God dang. We got Dak Prescott, and they got Jimmy G over there, and we just laid an egg.
Yeah. Laid an egg, then you shipped Amari Cooper off, and then you shipped Cedric Wilson off. I thought that was a bad move. Let him get out of the door.
Too many Chiefs, not enough Indians.
Yeah, let him get out the door. I think that was a mistake. You know, I've been having this inner debate. Maybe you two could settle it. I'm an Atlanta native, rooted for the Falcons because I thought I had to. But now I'm a Nashville native, been a Nashville native for 15 years.
Ooh.
There is a team up here, the Tennessee Titans. Should I go on and switch?
I would.
I'm thinking about it. I've got some gear because I go to games. I'll go to some games. My father-in-law is a huge Titans fan. Has season tickets and everything.
Yeah. You kind of know what you're going to get with the Titans.
Whoa.
You can get a big dose of Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Little Derrick Henry action, yeah. I got him on my dynasty team now. I'm definitely going to be rooting for him.
The outlook for your Falcons for the next few years ain't that good.
It never is. It never is, Vinny.
Titans are ready to win.
I don't know why. I don't know why I continue to go to the well. I really don't.
I'm usually a stick to my pick a team, stick with it guy for the most part, but that's kind of hard. I can see why you might want to switch.
I'm in the market. Like it's not like
they're ready to win now. They should have let that dude go to Philly. They should have kept that receiver. That was kind of I don't know about that.
They weren't going to be able to pay him.
Hey, listen, you're just in trade talks right now. You know, there's no definite answer.
Yeah, I'm in trade talks.
You're just testing the waters a little bit.
I'm in a contract year, so
yeah. I mean, you.
So my deal with the Falcons is about to expire. Now they can show some promise, and I'll come back, or the Titans can. The Titans have made a strong push.
Are you even really torn? Are you pretty much 90% Titans and just wanting to officially?
Yeah, he needs like one more okay for him to make the switch.
I think I just need the little shove at this point.
They're ready to win now. They're been.
I mean, you're doing a good job of talking me into it.
Yeah, I can.
Not that I needed a whole lot of help anyway.
City's passionate about it. I can see why you would be. And you've been there 15 years. That is a long time to be in.
Yeah,
you just moved, like you just moved in last week and still unpacking and learning the city. You a Nashvilleian now. So
I've adopted the Preds. I've adopted Nashville SC. If I watch soccer, might as well go wholesale. I can't get rid of the Braves, because Nashville doesn't have a major league team anyway.
Are they gonna get one? Let's talk.
It'd probably be the A's. If they get one, baseball would be hard. The Braves are like, that's number one for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like it.
And I can't do the Grizzlies. I can't do the Grizzlies.
Mm-hmm.
I like them, but I just can't. I can't do that.
Why is it all right to switch your pro allegiance when you never thought about becoming a Tennessee fan, and neither have I.
No,
but can switch the pro teams up from Atlanta
because like I went to Georgia, so I'm not ever really gonna switch from that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you went to Kentucky, Israel played at Georgia. He's really not gonna switch from that.
No.
Like if I was like if I worked in the NFL and I worked for the Falcons for a long time and then I got out and did something else, my allegiance would be to the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's just like these players, like like Pat McAfee is a diehard Colts fan because he played for the Colts. Manning right now is a diehard Broncos fan because that's probably the most impactful place he played. He's part owner. I think
Won a Super Bowl.
Won a Super Bowl there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Drew Brees is probably a huge saint. Like these guys get attached to these teams kind of like the way we do with colleges. We can add teams that we like to root for, but we'll never I would never consider myself a fan of Clemson. But I do like rooting for them because my wife went there. Or like I enjoy watching some of these other games. I enjoy some other teams, but I would never consider myself a fan.
Yeah.
It's like I have nothing attached to the Falcons. I grew up there, watched them a lot. It's just this like college mentality of do we switch or do we not switch? It's kind of like with pro teams, I feel like you switch more freely.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's just me. So I guess all that's to say that tighten up.
All right.
There it is.
Tighten up.
Just need that.
Cowboys come up there late December.
Yeah.
True.
You need to latch on to the nearby Jaguars.
No.
You need a really good team to root for.
Let me ask y'all this real quick too. I mean, you mentioned Peyton Manning with Denver. Was Arch Manning expected to go to Texas? Was that?
I don't think it was a surprise if you ask anybody that knew.
Yeah. Mike Farrell at Rival said if his name was Arch anything else, he wouldn't be rated nearly as high as he was. Y'all buying that?
I do. I do buy that.
I buy it too. I don't like
what I've seen him compete against, and if you bring him here to South Georgia, he wouldn't do any of that, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think he's a good quarterback. He's a dang good quarterback. Don't get me wrong, but the level of competition that he's playing, at that school makes him look like that. Or
I don't think his
last name is what's giving him all the attention.
I think he's if his name is Arch something else. I couldn't think of a last name there for a second. If his name is Arch Daniels, him committing to Texas would be like a fleeting headline on the Texas message boards.
Okay.
Like I don't think it would be that big a deal. Be treated just like any other quarterback.
Yeah, he's going to be good, and I think his upside is really high.
I think he's in a perfect system. I think he's going to the perfect place. He'll sit for a year, learn under Sark, and then he'll take over, and he'll be just fine.
Yeah, but his last name is really getting him what he's getting right now. So, and there's no denying that.
I meant to ask her that when he committed a couple weeks ago.
I mean, Mike Farrell. There's about 6 other quarterbacks at least that I think probably better than him. Mike Farrell, I think Mike Farrell was pretty spot on with that. I'll be honest.
Like I didn't know if he just wanted clicks or if he just really had this dude is.
I mean, it doesn't hurt.
And so when you're saying the school he's at is just kind of he's getting propped up by who he's carving up right now.
This is Oklahoma fans in a nutshell, by the way. Didn't even capitalize his name.
He's talking about Boomer Sooner. Now we'll put wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Troglodyte.
That is a Oklahoma fan if I've ever seen one.
I like
those people. Their thoughts on Texas are they don't like it too much.
It's
gonna get stuck in your head, Vinny. You're gonna go to sleep, and that Boomer Sooners gonna be playing in your head.
Oh,
it's like Rocky Top with Tennessee. They're just
oh my god,
you can't do it.
Don't get us started on Rocky.
Yeah, I bet you have PTSD. Practice in Tennessee week, and the whole city of Athens is ringing out in Rocky Top
It's
from y'all's practice.
blaring everywhere. Like, oh God, I can't wait for this to go off.
Oh,
Play every day.
man. Ooh.
And they pause it just long enough for you to get comfortable, and then boom, they hit it again, and you probably jump out of your skin.
All versions of it.
110,000 times per game.
Yeah, the Dolly Parton version was their favorite.
I bet.
It was awful. Awful.
Man.
I went to a dueling piano bar years ago here in Nashville. Those are pretty cool, actually, if you've ever been to one.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of cool. I walked in there going, what the hell am I about to get into here? But it was pretty cool. Like the dudes were pretty funny.
Yeah.
They were like, they had, the night I was there, they had these two guys that were like, if you give them a tip, they'll play what you want, what you want them to play. And so this one guy gives them a 20. They start playing Rocky Top, and like a quarter of the way in there, he stops and he goes, I got $40 to play Hang On Sloopy, which is the Ohio State song. So they start playing that. And they probably made $200 just dueling those two songs out, like one guy trying to outdo the other.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which they don't give a shit. But
No, they don't.
there goes our clean rating. But guys, it's I know it got late real early for you guys down there over there on East Coast time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Troupe, I know you got another long day of. What do y'all do? What are y'all doing in service at this time of year? What are your daily tasks right now in service?
We just meet like all day.
Now, do you have a classroom?
No, I'm a co-teacher. I do SPED, so I'm a co-teacher this year. They got me at the gym. But I like it. Me and my teacher are cool. He's a football coach too.
There you go.
So it's just the point now of just going through that whole.
You got to write
meet about
IPs, don't you?
this and meet about that and blah blah blah. Just learn the ins and outs of the school.
Meet to meet, huh?
Yep, that's exactly what we're doing. Meeting to meet.
I love it. Yeah, we'll start all that on Monday for us. We got new teacher orientation on Monday. And as the leader of the Academy of Art, Design, and Communication, I've got to be at the new teacher
Oh, that's
orientation.
We start school on Monday, so
Yeah. Teachers start Tuesday. I think we have our first official meeting on Tuesday of next week. So a week from tomorrow. I got till Wednesday to get my two classrooms ready for student orientation.
mm-hmm.
So that'll be fun.
Man, this is
Coming quick.
yeah, it's ridiculous. Goodness.
It does. Well, on that note, I don't want you falling asleep in your meetings tomorrow, so we'll get on out of here. This is the Beast of the East podcast on the Bleav Network, also on y'all's conference network on the video side of it. We thank you for joining the family, and we will talk at you this time next week. Check out SEC After Dark Wednesday night, and check us out, me and Israel Troupe, on Bleav in Georgia Dawgs this week, as well as we'll get you ready for fall camp and everything that's happening, and we'll get you into the weekend. Follow us on all social media platforms. It is scrolling down below. We thank you for watching. Hope you have a great week, an even better weekend, and we'll see you back here next Monday to wrap it all up again. See you guys. Go Dogs.
Depends.